Hello, and welcome back to Too Lazy to Read, where we read the uncomfortable things properly. Let's begin with a claim. According to this book, death is not the end. It is a process, predictable, structured, and if the accounts are to be believed, it is something you've already done before. There's a particular kind of fear that doesn't shout. It doesn't panic. It simply waits. It sits at the edge of your life like a quiet creditor, collecting interest. Not the fear of pain, not even the fear of loss, but the fear of the word that ends every sentence in the human body, death. And yet this book opens with a provocation so blunt it almost feels rude. Death may be frightening, largely because we've been trained to imagine it incorrectly.
Or because we don't know. And the unknown is always where the mind goes feral.
Yes, humans are excellent at many things, but we are particularly gifted at building elaborate haunted houses out of partial information. Tonight, we walk into one of the most influential haunted houses of modern metaphysical publishing. Except the author insists it isn't haunted at all. She insists it's home. Let's establish the ground rules before anyone writes angry letters to the void. This book is built on hypnosis regressions and the author's interpretation of what her subjects report in trance, especially reports that occur after the subject dies in a past life scene and moves into what she describes as the in-between state. That means two things can be true at once. One, as a spiritual text, it is trying to reduce terror and replace it with meaning. And two, as evidence, it lives in a complicated neighborhood, because hypnosis and memory are scientifically messy.
So we're not here to sneer at belief, but we're also not here to pretend hypnosis is a security camera pointed at the soul.
Precisely. This is intellectual hospitality. We'll take the book seriously without taking every claim as proved. Now, who is this author? The publisher describes Dolores Cannon as a pioneer of past life regression and frames her as unusually qualified to answer what happens at the point of death and where do we go afterwards. Her official biography materials emphasize decades of work in regression hypnosis and her development of a branded hypnosis method taught internationally. And whether you approach her as spiritual teacher, cultural phenomenon, or controversial figure, her influence is undeniable in modern New Age landscapes.
Okay, so we've got a book that wants to do something very human. It wants to calm the animal inside us that hears the word death and starts running.
Yes, it's a comfort project, constructed out of transcripts, patterns, and a worldview, and now we begin where canon begins. The moment the body stops being you and the you steps aside and looks down. Chapter 1 is Cannon's manifesto. She introduces herself as a regressionist, someone who, in hypnosis, takes people back not merely to childhood, but to other lives, other centuries, other deaths. She acknowledges the taboo directly. People accuse her of speaking to the dead. She responds that the dead aren't dead at all, just not currently wearing a body. Then she lays down her first big refrain, across many subjects and many deaths, violent, peaceful, sudden, slow. What happens after the departure is strikingly similar.
So her argument isn't, I have one spectacular story. It's, I have a pattern.
Exactly. And she treats pattern as proof, or at least as persuasion. Now, the book's most vivid early scenes are the release moments. She moves a subject past suffering to the moment after dying, and the voice changes.